workers and your members and everybody else. Come on. And you'll get behind everybody else. But it's time for you to have confidence in yourself. Am I talking good? And many of you talk about, well, I just want to pray about it. Yes, you ought to pray about everything, but some things is just a cop-out because you're scared to walk in your God-given authority. But how many of you know that God have called you and put an anointing over you, and it's time for you to possess your inheritance? Many of you have low self-esteem. You don't believe in yourself. You don't know who you are. You don't know what you have. Come on. You won't let nobody see who you really are because you're afraid that they might not agree. I want to know, how is it that whether you like me or dislike me, how is that going to change my destiny? And just because you don't agree don't mean that God is not going to do what he said he was going to do. And so here we are in this text. Understand that Zelophehad had 5 girls: Marla, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Zilrah. Tirzah, rather. Understand, you got to be careful what you name your children because they just might act like you gonna call them. When you're gonna call them Keisha and Isha and all this stuff, you gotta make sure that you're calling them the right thing. Am I talking real good? And so the first girl's name was Marla, which means to be weak. We've always been called the weaker vessel. Yes, we are physically. But what I found out is what God requires, he also empowers. And the weaker the vessel, the stronger the power of God. Because it's not by power nor by might, but it's by his Spirit. He said, my grace is sufficient and made perfect, and my strength is made perfect in your weakness. And so my physical anatomy has nothing to do with my anointing, because I'm not operating on my physical anatomy. I am operating under dunamis. I'm operating under parakletos. I'm operating under the anointing and the power of God. And so you can't put stipulations on me because of my physical anatomy, because I'm anointed to be mommy, and you're anointed to be pastor, and you're anointed to be prophetess and mother. Come on. You're anointed to be girlfriend. You're anointed to be first lady, and whatever it is God has called you to be. So my weakness has nothing to do with who I am and how God made me to be, because I'm operating under the power of God. Look at somebody and say, I'm operating under the power of God. Understand that you're anointed to walk in the wealth of God. You're anointed to have your own business. Come on. You are anointed to prosper. You're anointed to get out of debt. You're anointed to buy the car you want. You're anointed to get the house that you want. Understand that the anointing and prosperity is not just for certain people. It's not just for the pulpit. It's not just for pastors and preachers, but it's for he that believeth. Come on. God says, I'll bless you. He says, I'll anoint you, because I don't have no respecter of person. And what I found out is that I might not be where I want to be right now. But I tell you what, if I stay connected to God and let him stay connected to me, that it's just a matter of time before my blessing shows up, because I have a right to my God-given inheritance. And so while I hurry on, there was another girl. Her name was Noah. The name Noah means peace. It means rest. It means to chill. How many of you know it's time for us to chill out in God? Your life ain't been nothing but hell. But it's time to chill. You're entitled to your peace. A part of your inheritance is peace. Some of you don't have no peace at home. You ain't got no peace on the job. And I'm a dog and I got so bad now you ain't got no peace at the church house. But I'll tell you one thing, a part of my inheritance is my peace. And I want my peace. If I have to do some downsizing, if I have to cut some folks off, if I have to look at my caller ID and say, oh no, I don't want to talk to you today. You draining the juice out of me. I don't want to be friends with you. If I have to walk by myself, if I have to be alone, come on. I can't let you have my peace, because there's so much that go on in the world, and there's so much that go on in our home. You don't have but a little bit of peace, and you better hold on to that, to everything you got. It's time for you to take a long bath. Get in the jacuzzi. Tell the children, look, go outside and play. Put the dog out. Let the baby cry. As long as you know ain't nothing wrong with her, let her cry. But I need my peace. And so the other girl's name is Hoglah. Hog law means fighter. Hog law means boxer. Come on, how many of you know that you got to fight for your inheritance? God is raising up fighters and women and men that refuse to give up. Come on. But I found out you don't just fight for no reason. You don't fight when you don't get nothing out of it. You don't fight just to be fighting. Some people are just so contentious. They just fight about everything. Just raise hell for no reason. Come on. You ain't got nothing to get. You just fussing for no reason. Just arguing for no reason. But I only fight when I can get something out of it. But baby, if it's something in for me, I will whoop your butt. If I see where I'm going to get something out of it, come on. I'll fight like I have lost my everlasting mind. How many of you know that it's time to fight for what belongs to you? God is trying to raise up fighters and not passive Christians. Come on. Everybody can't be laid up like John. We got to have some Peters in our midst. Am I talking good? You got to have some Peters that'll roll up on you and say, hey, what you trying to do up in here? I can't let you, look, don't you roll up on me and Jesus like this. Jesus came to die, but hey, what's up with that? What's up with that? I need to find out what you're trying to do up in here. And so God reached down and picked up the ear that Peter had cut off and put it back on the man's head. Said, hold up, Pete. God, he said, wait, God. Well, okay then. You better tell me something. You better tell me something. Okay, roll up on me if you want to. It's on up in it. Look at somebody and shout, fight. You fought this far. It's time for you to continue to fight for your inheritance. Then the other girl's name, I'm getting out of here, is Milcah. It means queen. Everybody might not treat you right, but you're God's queen. Jesus came down through 40 and 2 generations, marched up Golgotha, paid a high price for you. Come on, because you're his queen. Understand that when you understand that you're God's queen, you're going to start to treat yourself like a queen. The problem with most of you, you're waiting on validation from somebody else. I don't care if you don't think I'm a queen. I think so. Folk have torn you down long enough, overlooked you long enough. They hate you because they see the coat on you. They hate you because they see the favor on you. And they try to minimize who you are in God. Come on. They see God blessing you and they see God doing things for you and they say, that's cute. Know you're looking good, but they want to minimize you and try to tear you down and strip you down. But how many of you know that you know that you know that you know? I don't care how old you are. I don't care if your breast milk have turned to powder milk and your hips have gone south and your eyes are dim. I don't care how old you are, you're still God's queen. I don't care how much dope you smoke, how many babies you got out of wedlock. I want you to know that you're still God's queen. Well, you know, Pastor, I'm just too fat, and I'm just too fat. We don't care nothing about that. Take your pleasing plump behind and strut it like you have lost your mind. Listen, it's some men that don't like nobody but fat women. Oh, I wish I had a little bit more help in here. Where my pleasingly plump girl? You ought to strut your stuff like you the last something on earth. I don't care how skinny you are, you're still God's queen. Look at a sister and say, work it, work it, work it, work it, work it, work it. And I ain't talking about in the flesh, but I'm talking about being who you are in God. Because the truth is, you'll never get another you. You are all you're going to ever have. And if you don't take care of you, don't you expect nobody else to do it. If you're saying something about yourself, and if you don't believe it, why do you think the rest of us believe? But I'm going to start out believing in me. Because just in case you might not, I'm the only me that I'm going to ever get. So I am a queen. Oh, good God, I'm trying to chill out till I can finish up a little bit of this. And then there's the girl Tarzan, which means delightful. She was pleasant. Do you know some folks is mean in the church as rattlers? They don't wear, some of them don't wear no pants and makeup, but they hate faithful as a junkyard dog.